Chancellor Carter, the students have now assembled for the 2011 spring commencement exercises for the School of Graduate Studies.
Thank you, Dr. Masami. Will you please remain standing for the invocation by Reverend Ron Sanders?
Join me in this invocation, please. Oh God, we pause a moment with gratitude as we celebrate tonight the accomplishments of our students who have completed their master's degree requirements. But we are grateful because we have been created to maturely engage in such a complex, wonderful human relationships and to cognitively explore the mysteries of the sciences. And our graduates are doing this. We are grateful that we can experience satisfaction, hope, and love. So we pray for these who have chosen to challenge and improve themselves through their graduate program. We pray that they will continue to invest themselves by continuing in the learning process and to use their gifts and abilities in the betterment of others. In so doing, O God, may they find fulfillment, purpose, and happiness. We also are grateful for the support and encouragement of their family and friends who love them and believe in them. We're grateful for each individual professor and administrator who, with commitment and dedication, have given of themselves to influence the molding and growth of another human being. And we say thank you. Amen.
Please join in the singing of the national anthem performed by Mr. Stephen Love.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose brush stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Mr. Love. Please be seated. Graduates and honored guests, it is a pleasure and an honor for me to welcome you to the spring commencement for students in the School of Graduate Studies at the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. I will now recognize members of the platform party who are not speaking in the ceremony this evening. I will ask each to please stand and remain standing and be recognized as their names are called. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Members of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke Board of Trustees, Mr. Richard Taylor, Ms. Lorna Ricotta. UNCP administrators, Mr. Neil Hawk, Vice Chancellor for Business Services, Dr. Diane Jones, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, Ms. Jackie Clark, Vice Chancellor for Enrollment Management, Mr. Joshua Malcolm, University Counsel, Mr. Dan Kinney, Director of Athletics, Dr. Martin Sland, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Leah Fiorentino, Dean of the School of Education, Dr. Eleanor Foster, Dean of the Library, Dr. Jesse Peters, Dean of the Esther Maynor Honors College, Dr. Cammie Hunt, Acting Dean of the School of Business. Would you please give them a round of applause? I now ask that all faculty rise to be recognized. It is because of their hard work and dedication to this school that our graduates are here today. They deserve much credit. Please join me in applauding the faculty. Thank you. Dr. Frida Porter, Chairwoman of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke Board of Trustees, will now bring greetings from the board.
Chancellor Carter, distinguished platform party, graduates, family members, and friends. First, let me commend you, our graduate candidates, for reaching this milestone in your lives. Having been where you are at this very moment, let me assure you that your milestone has also been a journey for those who are with you tonight. Parents, spouses, children, extended family members, and perhaps even your professors. Having been where you are also gives me special insight into your feelings and thoughts: joy, calm, amazement, exhaustion, uncertainty, optimism, and maybe a hint of impatience. So I'm going to be brief. Soon, you will be considered by others as a master in some field of study. Folks will expect you to lead with masterful strokes to inspire others to become highly skilled in their chosen field, to produce masterpieces in education, art, music, and in the sciences. As tonight's voice of the Board of Trustees, I will only ask that you resolve to move through life knowing and living your own truth, and to conduct your life through the example of service. When you do, you will be successful. Continue to grow intellectually, morally, technically, and professionally, and deny your families nothing along the way. Thus far, the entire UNCP family has been one of your staunchest stakeholders, and once a stakeholder, always a stakeholder as you pursue other career goals. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees, congratulations to you all and to your families who've stood beside you over the years. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Porter. It is now my pleasure to ask Dr. Sarah Simmons, Acting Dean of the Graduate School, to come forward.
What a delight to see such a large number of graduating students, family members, and their guests on this historic occasion. As you know, this is the first time that the commencement ceremony for the School of Graduate Studies has been separate from the undergraduate ceremony. We're so glad to have you on campus this evening to celebrate the earning of a master's degree by these students. We know that there will be proud alumni who will be honored to have UNC Pembroke as their alma mater, and that they will stay connected to the university in many positive ways in the years to come. Now it's my great pleasure and special privilege to introduce the speaker for tonight's ceremony, Dr. Charles Jenkins. Dr. Jenkins came to what was Pembroke State University in 1971. If you do the math, 40 and a half years ago. He was an instructor and supervisor of student teachers. After several years, Dr. Jenkins began his long-time affiliation with the Office of Academic Affairs, where he served in a number of positions, including being the first person to hold the title of provost. He held that position for 14 and a half years. While Dr. Jenkins served in key leadership roles, the university launched a broad range of master's degree programs, which led to UNCP achieving status as a comprehensive one university. In 2000, Dr. Jenkins left the provost position and returned to teaching in the school administration program in the School of Education. And he'll tell you that teaching remains a passion for him. In recognition of his many contributions to UNCP, Dr. Jenkins was named Professor Emeritus in 2007. When former Chancellor Allen Meadows announced he was leaving, Dr. Jenkins was approached by then UNC President Erskine Bowles, and he agreed to serve as interim chancellor for the 2009-10 academic year. In this critically important role, he helped to ensure a smooth transition for our current chancellor, Dr. Kyle Carter. Dr. Jenkins also has made significant contributions in the areas of professional service and community and regional outreach. He has received numerous recognitions, including being awarded the Order of the Longleaf Pine by the governor. As we considered who might be invited to be the speaker at this historic graduate school commencement ceremony, Dr. Jenkins naturally came to mind, and he graciously accepted the invitation. I am pleased to turn the podium over to our eminent speaker for the first ever School of Graduate Studies commencement ceremony at UNC Pembroke, Dr. Charles Jenkins.
Thank you, Sarah, for your most generous introduction. When the commencement committee invited me to make some remarks tonight, I couldn't help, based on their offer, that there's a great fact in being a commencement speaker. It's much like being a corpse at a funeral. Really and truly it is. The planners of the ceremony feel very much like they need to have you to carry out the event, but they do not expect you to say much. Now, Chancellor Carter's invitation was quite different. He called me a couple of months ago, and I was a little bit surprised to get his call. But he said to me, Charles, I'm checking on the status of free speech on our campus, and I want to get your opinion. And I said, oh, Dr. Carter, I said, we have much discussion in many of our classes on the clauses of the First Amendment, and I can assure you that free speech is live and well on the UNCP campus. He says, great, because I want you to give a free speech at the graduate commencement. So he kind of set me up for that. But he does have a very difficult task, as you know, and we all ought to be thinking about the severity of the budget cuts. But he did share with me that he appreciated very much that I was willing not to accept a stipend and he wouldn't have to pay me travel expenses. So that's great. It is, as Dr. Simmons indicated, it is great to see such a tremendous turnout tonight. We were not sure, since this is the first graduate commencement, what the turnout would be, and especially with the high price of gasoline that we're facing. I could not help but think of the story a couple years ago of the former governor of Texas, Ms. Richards, who made the comment that the price of gasoline in Texas was so high that women who were wanting to run over their husbands with an automobile now had to carpool. So I see that you didn't let the price of gasoline get in the way tonight. Let's get serious for just a moment. I see my role is, and I believe this very much, is to represent our faculty and staff here at the university in making a few comments to you. And as Dr. Simmons and Dr. Carter has previously indicated, the graduates really are making history twice over tonight. One, receiving their master's degree, and secondly, participating in the first graduate commencement in the history of the university. Also, some of our graduates, probably many of our graduates, are the first member of their family to receive a graduate degree, and many of them were perhaps the first, you hear those applause, the first to receive even an undergraduate degree. Hey, that is a great achievement for any person and for their family. And as you know, we're not only here to honor the graduates, we're here to honor their family. And as I think Dr. Carter did so well early on, we're also here to honor and recognize our faculty and staff who have supported these master's students through the years. And I will tell you, I continue to admire and appreciate my faculty colleagues and administrators who work so diligently to help students and to represent the university so well, and I'm still proud to be part of this university. As we all reflect a little bit for just a moment on the significance of tonight's commencement, let me remind you of some figures that you may not be aware of and that is a high percentage of people in North Carolina and across the United States do not accomplish the level of distinction that you have reached tonight, and of course they will not enjoy the benefits that you will receive as a result. In North Carolina, only 8.3% of the people 25 years of age and older earn a graduate degree. That number is a little higher nationally, but even that number is only 9.4% on a national level. Let me repeat that. Our folks graduating today are moving into the 8.3% category in North Carolina and the 9.4% category on the national level. But let me also tell you that the faculty here who's had the privilege to teach these students would rate you much higher than those percentages, and we are very proud of that. Now that you have earned or will receive the actual diploma tonight, let me just remind you of some of the things that you have achieved during this period of time that you've been pursuing the master's degree. Of course, first and foremost, the honor and distinction that goes with it. But I would tell you also that you will receive some extrinsic benefits as a result, but probably more important, in my opinion, will be the intrinsic rewards that you will receive, and your quality of life will be improved. One of UNC Pembroke's primary mission, or perhaps the most important mission, in my opinion, is to help build human capital and potential. And I think the university has done this in these graduates. In reality, you probably do not realize today all that you have learned and what will be enhanced in your life as a result of the educational process that you've been involved in over the last 2+ years. There's no doubt that your knowledge, your skills, and your abilities in your given discipline have been greatly increased. But probably equally as important, you have strengthened your interpersonal skills, your oral and written communication skills, and your technology skills. And that will carry you a great deal regardless of what you might do in the future. Your curriculum vitae or your resume has been strengthened without question. Some of you perhaps will even receive an increase in pay when the economy will get better, and it will get better. There's no doubt about that. Without a doubt, you have increased your career or professional options in your field, or even if you decide at some point, and many people do, to change fields, you will be in a much better position now, and you're far more marketable as in earning a master's degree. Some of you do not believe this now, but many of you perhaps will decide to even pursue another degree, a doctorate or another professional or terminal degree, and you can rest assured that you are well prepared for that pursuit. We receive good comments from students who go on to other types of degrees all the time, and even perhaps more important, we receive great comments from some of the best institutions of higher education in this country about the quality of our graduates as they pursue other degrees and how well prepared they are. Oftentimes in the affective area, we don't realize what may change our attitudes and our perception of things, but I would say without question, your attitude, your perspective, and your dispositions have been possibly enhanced by what has taken place over the last several years. I know many of you have already shared with me that you have benefited greatly from the networking that you have done with your classmates, and this will continue in terms of your professional lives, but it will probably be even more important in your personal lives because you will maintain many of these relationships. You also have developed some great professional relationships with the faculty, and I can assure you that our faculty and staff have enjoyed so much being associated with you, and we want to see that association continue. Let's talk for just a moment now that you are earning the degree and actually will be receiving the degree about what you expect from yourself now that you've reached this milestone. We really can't answer that question for you because it's left up to you and your goals and objectives. But let me share with you a little bit what our faculty and staff, or at least what I think that we expect of you and that we hope for you. Without question now, you have the responsibility to be a leader in your field and a leader in your community, and that is also very important. Let me just briefly talk a moment about the relationship between leadership, service, and happiness. They do go together. You may not think so, but they do. There are many definitions of leadership, but I subscribe to one in particular, that leadership is doing the right things at the right time for the right reasons. The right things, of course, involve the execution or the implementation of the best practices in your field, and we hope you have learned that. Timing is always important in terms of leadership, but let me remind you, it is always the right time to do what is right. And doing things for the right reasons, of course, emphasizes the importance of ethics in our professional lives, but also in our personal lives, and that is very important. We all know that we have been involved in an economic crisis now for a couple, 3 years, both in the United States and even internationally. I would say to you without a doubt that our ethics crisis probably is even greater. And the reason I would say that, many of the financial managers or financial leaders, because of a lack of ethics, got us into some of the problems that we have today. And I would also say to you that we hope and trust that you will always maintain high ethical standards and that you will never, and I mean never, sacrifice your ethics for financial gain or for any other advantage that is not ethical. In following such approach for leadership, you all, regardless of the profession or the position that you're currently in or will be in the future, you all can and should be and are expected to be leaders. Real leadership, as I hope you already know, is only functional when we operate on the basis of trust and integrity and credibility. We want all of our leaders to be competent, and sometimes that may or may not be true, but the research and our own experience without question tells us that we want our leaders to have integrity and to be honest. Effective leaders also have high expectations for themselves and the people with whom they work and associate. We also know that the quality of your professional and your personal relationships is critical to leadership effectiveness and also to your professional and personal happiness. The last comment that I want to share with you is another principle of leadership, and that is that leadership and service are inseparable, and devoted service leads to happiness, and we're all very interested in happiness. One of my favorite quotes is a statement by the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and I want you to listen carefully. You all have the opportunity for greatness. Service to others leads to greatness, not fame. Fame is very fleeting and very short-lived, and it should not be confused with greatness and happiness. Sometime in our society, I think that happens. We also know from the research that wealth, personal wealth as such, does not necessarily make one happy. The research shows that once an individual has the necessary goods and services for basic comfort and basic security, that income or finances above that have relatively no effect, in some cases can even have a negative effect. Psychologists also tell us that service to others leads to happiness, and happiness only comes as a byproduct of what we are, what we think, and what we do. In closing, most of you have a wonderful opportunity to find greatness and to find happiness in your life's work and in the service that you can provide in your chosen profession and in your community. Our faculty and staff here think many of you are already great, but we want you to rise to even higher levels of greatness, and we also want you to be happy. So we encourage you to reach the highest levels that you are capable in terms of success and happiness in the future. Again, congratulations to all of you. We're very proud of you, and we wish you the best always. Thank you.
This is my friend. Part of what makes UNCP great is that we have individuals like Charles Jenkins embody the qualities that we want to impart to our students. And I can tell you, he embodies all of that, and I appreciate our relationship very much. Now we begin the program that gets you ready for your degrees. Dr. Ken Kitts, Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, will begin today's presentation of degrees.
Chancellor Carter, I call upon the Acting Dean of the School of Graduate Studies, Dr. Sarah Simmons, to present to you the candidates for degrees who will be awarded diplomas upon completion of all requirements of their degree programs as prescribed by the faculty, the Board of Trustees of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke, and the Board of Governors of the University of North Carolina.
I ask all candidates for graduate degrees from the School of Graduate Studies to please stand. Chancellor Carter, the School of Graduate Studies, graduate program directors, and graduate faculty are very pleased and proud to present to you the candidates for the following graduate degrees: Master of Arts, Master of Arts in Education, Master of Arts in Teaching, Master of Business Administration, Master of Public Administration, Master of School Administration, Master of Science, and Master of Social Work.
Chancellor Carter, all candidates for degrees are hereby presented.
Thank you, Dr. Kitts. I now ask Dr. Rami Masami, Chair of the Faculty Senate, to come forward.
Chancellor Carter, the Faculty Senate representing the faculty have reviewed these candidates and attest that they have met the qualification for their various degrees pending the outcome of final exams. I, therefore, am pleased to recommend these candidates for the degrees for which they have been presented.
Thank you, Dr. Masami. I now ask all the faculty to please stand and remain standing in support of these graduates and as confirmation of their meeting the rigorous standards set forth by the university. I also ask that all UNCP alumni present today, whether on the platform in the audience, to please stand and remain standing. Please stand. I know there's some UNCP alumni. I want you to serve as witnesses to the conferral of these degrees and the acceptance of these students into the ranks of loyal alumni. Graduates, upon the recommendation of the faculty, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors and the Board of Trustees, and upon your completion of all requirements, I confer upon you the degree for which you have satisfied requirements with all of its rights, honors, and responsibilities. Please join me in applauding these graduates. Please be seated. I now call on Mr. R.J. Kizan, President of the Student Government Association, to prepare the graduates for the diploma ceremony.
Here we go. Good evening. Today is a special day. This event signifies an important accomplishment for each and every one of us. It is very hard for me to speak about this matter, but I will try my best. We all took different paths to reach this stage in our lives. For some people, it has been long and difficult. For others, it has been quick and easy. But at the end of the day, this is something to be proud of. Our journey through our academic careers highlights our development as contributing and responsible citizens. So before you walk up to this stage to accept your diplomas, I want you to look back and remember the last several years. Remember your experiences and how that has affected who you are today. Remember and appreciate what you have been through. It has been the greatest pleasure to have served as your student body president. Stand tall and be proud of your accomplishments. And we'll see you all in homecoming.
Thank you, RJ. I'm going to take a couple of minutes privilege and give a charge to the graduates. I'm going to confess, I love commencement. I really love commencement. And there are three ways that I love commencement, or three reasons. I love commencement because it's a celebration. Everyone in this entire area is proud. Everyone is happy. But do you know the happiest people in this audience? It's the people that no longer have to pay tuition and fees. That may be you, it may be your parents, it may be others, but we are happy. So as we celebrate today, I want you to remember all of those people that have supported you, either financially or with a strong shoulder. It's their celebration today as well. I love commencement because of the many stories of personal triumph that are seated out here in front of me. Each story has a message that says the human spirit cannot be limited unless we let it be. Many of you have demonstrated the strength of the human spirit. Many of you have practiced the motto, seek the hawk within yourself. You have overcome obstacles. You have achieved. Let me give you one example of your members, of one of your classmates. Mr. Rudy Locklear, who grew up here in Pembroke, graduates this evening with a Master's of Public Administration degree. Like many of our students, he was determined to improve his way of life through education. He faced obstacles along the way. While in high school, Rudy's brother died after being robbed on the streets of Baltimore. At that moment, Rudy knew he wanted to pursue a life in public service. He has served as a volunteer firefighter for the Pembroke Rural Fire Department, worked in the Robeson County Sheriff's Office, and at the age of 24 was the youngest magistrate in the state of North Carolina. He graduated from Robeson County Community College in 2002, and he received his Bachelor of Administration degree in Criminal Justice from UNCP in 2006. Along the way, he took 2 18-hour semesters and 2 19-hour semesters in order to complete his degree. Today, he graduates with an MPA degree with honors from the National Honor Society for Public Administration, Pi Alpha Alpha. He is fulfilling his dream to serve the public and to protect those who are unable to protect themselves. Rudy, I know your brother is proud of you today. I love commencement because it's steeped in tradition and ritual. Just look out at the faculty in their multicolored caps and gowns, the Chancellor's medallion, the mace, other things that symbolize where we have been. I love these things because they remind us that we are part of a past, a present, and a future, something bigger than ourselves. Traditions are important because they pass on institutional values that are meaningful and give us guidance. One of my favorite traditions is at Brown University. A section of their historic quad is surrounded by a 7-foot wrought iron fence. Those gates remain closed all year, except for 2 times. Once, when freshmen are allowed into the university, and on commencement, when seniors leave the university. Traditions are important to help sustain a sense of who we are. And let me illustrate why traditions are important. 2 weeks ago, my wife got up early, like some of you, and watched the royal wedding of Prince William and Princess Catherine. At first, I was not going to watch. I was protesting. But I got drawn in by the pomp and circumstance and tradition. As I watched, I realized the ceremony was not so much about the union of 2 people. It brought England together. The English felt connected by their common history and tradition. They were proud to be English. I hope that all the symbols and ritual of commencement remind you that you are part of something bigger than yourself. You're a part of a community. You're a part of this institution and its history. You're a part of the class of 2011. 17th century English poet John Donne sums it up nicely in 2 lines from his very famous poem. No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. So my charge to you tonight is simple. Upon graduation, contribute to something beyond yourself. Some of you have already started down that path. Don't stop. All of you can make a difference in the lives of others through your time, talent, and resources. Your alma mater was built upon the tradition of improving lives through education and service. I urge you to carry on that tradition as you leave this place. You will be happier, more fulfilled, and will honor the institution that invested in you. But most important, you will make the world a better place. Best wishes to all of you, and congratulations.
Hal Davis, Assistant Professor of Musical Theater, will come forward to present the names of the candidates who are present today.
Since individual graduates are recognized by calling their names as they walk across the stage, we ask the entire audience to be respectful of the graduates and their families. We also ask that you remain seated and stay for the entire ceremony. An additional garment, a hood, as well as a robe that is wider at the sleeves than the baccalaureate gown, recognize graduates who have attained their master's degrees. Dr. Irene Akins, Associate Dean of the School of Graduate Studies, has the honor of hooding these students on stage. Will the candidates for master's degree please step forward as their names are called? School of Graduate Studies, Masters of Arts, Art Education. Wendy Funderbook Mitchell. English Education. Jamie Michelle Baldwin Spencer. Matthew Jean Kroll. Jenny Lynn Teague. David Lionel Townsend. Math Education. Travis Allen Locklear. Physical Education. Victoria Melissa Cashwell. Robert Earl Chavis, Jr. Justin Scott Gordon. Kashavis Devonna Huntley. Teresa Marie Kelly. Christina Sneed Lockamy. Rashina A. Martin. Ronald Lee Madison, Jr. Bridget Nicole Pratt. Zachary Harrison Roel. Daniel Fletcher Scott, Jr. Shambi Sayi. Adonis B.J. Stanley. Jonathan Scott Terry. Social Studies Education. Melissa Blair Ivory. Glenda Gale Lee. Master of Arts in Education, Elementary Education, Beverly Craft Campbell. Jennifer Riley Dillard. Kimberly Swing Gore. Laura Ann Howell Cranford. Jennifer L. Richardson. Middle grades education, Charlotte Fairley Lloyd. Heather Brooke Maynor Lambert. Reading education, Brunel Spivey Carpenter. Latasha Terry McIver. Ursula Yvette Seydu. Maria Nobles Skies. School counseling, Julian Bowers Edwards. Deborah Potter Hyduke. Sue Ellen Hunt. Angela Jones. Dana Latoya McQueen Whitfield. Anitrika Monique Thomas. Atina Warax. Master of Arts in Teaching, Heather R. Boyd. James Cadiz. Jamie Lydia Gomez. Stephanie Scaparrotti High. Talisha Lynn Oxendine. Jacob Lynn Thomas. Paul Heath Wren. Lawrence Peter Zaccario. Master of Business Administration, Rock Anthony Barnes. Teresa Ann Brown. Susan M. Dickerson. Megan May Goss. Minghao Guo. Sheila Locklear Harris. Victor Scott Lamb. Yun Liao. Lucy Maynor Lowry. Marlon Raphael McFatter. Mark Anthony Pate. Taria Falina. Anthony Zeradio. Master of Public Administration, Brian Lee Harden. Julian L. Harden. David L. Hubbard, Jr. Rebecca W. Hughes. Dana Chavis Jacobs. Stephanie Shore Gazuldra. Wesley Todd Leo. Rudy T. Locklear. Virginia May Scott Locklear. Byron Daniel Lowry. Rebecca Revels Lowry. Kevin George McCall. James Allen McManus. Denise Morrill Sherrill. Glenn Allen Sims. Oops. Krista Jane Snively. Teresa Tubbs. Chase Curran Wissenhunt. Tracy Antoinette Worthy. Master of School Administration, Michael Anthony Armstrong. Terry Lynette Burks. Molly Warner Capps. Julie Marie Sincer. Tanya Yvette Claire Jones. Lisa Ann Crawford. Teresa G. Dunn. Elgin Larice Emmanuel. Kendall Laven Hamilton. Victoria Jones Henderson. Melissa K. Hill. Chad Elvington Hunt. Felicia Ann Hunt. Susan Dimmick Hunt. Daryl Nathan Namath Jackson. Charles Forrest Jones. Amanda Bullock Leggett. June Wolcott Livermore. Jerry Lynn Locklear. Sivan F. Maltzby. Jeanette LaShawn McEachran. She showed up late. Lorraine Denise Murphy. Jessica Diane Overby. Ana Luisa Perez. Patricia Monroe Powell. Sheila Garner Tolbert. Katina Renee Top. Lisa Monique Troy. Shanita Windette Wooten. Master of Science, Service Agency Counseling, Belinda G. Blackman. Mary Beth Locklear. Maria Paparella Parker. Cameron Lamar Rawls. Master of Social Work, Delilah C. Allen. Brittany Barnes. Aisha Shanta Bell. Shane Michael Brown. Janet Marie Campbell. Cordella J. Chavis. Tamika Deshawn Davis. Louise Disharoon. Lorena Fellman. Kennedy Gagnon. Natalie Cerise Gosh. Wakila Tamika Gilmore. Philip Hiroshita. Belinda James. Mara D. Locklear. Ruby Bullard Locklear. Stephanie Aaron Mabe. Stephen Aaron Mabe, sorry. So busy with Mabe. Alicia Colette Oxendine. Wanda Salters Renfro. Shakita Spears Torres. Lavonda D. Townsend. Thomas Anthony Weathers. Carmela Jean Webb. Amy Elizabeth White. Chancellor Carter, all candidates for degrees have now been presented.
You are not only graduates, you are also alumni, and therefore I would invite Sylvia Pate, President of the Alumni Association, to the podium.
For some of you, you are now UNCP's newest alumni. But for others of you, I realize that you're now perhaps 2 times an alumnus, or maybe perhaps 3 times an alumnus. And we welcome you to come back as often as you'd like. On behalf of the Alumni Association's Board of Directors, I'd like to congratulate you on your achievement and welcome you to our ranks, which is some 20,000 strong. I urge you, if you're not already connected to our university, to become connected and to take advantage of all that it has to offer. I also ask that you support the university through your many talents and gifts, and we know that you have many of those. The strength of any university depends not only on those that are here today, but also upon those who have graduated in the past and those that will come in the future. It's both our responsibility and our honor to assist this great university that's given us so much. I urge you to do so. UNCP will always be a part of you. and we want you to always be a part of it. We have a remembrance for you as you depart the ceremony. We hope that this gift will remind you of your Pembroke experience. We want you to keep in touch, and we want you to visit our campus often, and we want you to give in ways that you're comfortable in giving. And by the way, Dr. Carter, Rudy Locklear is already given back. He's our second vice president of the Alumni Association, so we've got him working already. I wish all of you much great success in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Before we conclude, I would like to recognize some very important guests who are with us today. Would you please stand and remain standing as I recognize you? The spouses and children of our graduates, would you please stand? Let's give them a round of applause. The parents or grandparents, please rise. Everybody keep standing. Parents and grandparents. Family members and friends, everybody stand up. Let's give them a round of applause. These are the people that supported you through your time. And I hope that you will join all of us in a reception following this ceremony and express your appreciation to them for what they've done for you. The reception is just to the south of here in the annex, and I hope you will come and enjoy that time. Now please rise as we sing the Alma Mater led by Lee Montague and remain standing for the recessional. Please remain in your seats while we exit, and this will conclude the commencement exercises.
Where Carolina's lofty pine trees pierce the southern blue, proudly stands our alma mater, courageous, strong, and true. Black and gold float on forever, symbol of loyalty. Pembroke, our alma mater, hail to UNCP.
Ready?